alone and not even know it. I really like to tell stories about my life because it helps me connect with other people. And I think connecting with other people matters to me quite a bit, probably because I grew up in relative isolation. My father was a dairy farmer and he milked cows, 7 days a week around the clock. But he was also the manager of a 10,000-acre estate. And out the back door, we had 60,000 other acres of trees in the form of the West Point Military Reservation and the Harriman State Park. So as a manager of a 10,000-acre estate, he was responsible for the 3 lakes that were there. He maintained the roads, he had to worry about the rental properties, and he even tested our drinking water. My mom was an orphan. She was born to a 15-year-old high school girl in Tennessee. And the courts took her away from her parents when she was 15 because she's malnourished. And she was given to a grandmother who died of a stroke. And then an aunt whose stove blew up in her face and killed her. And then she lived on a cot in somebody's attic before she landed in the boarding house. And that's when my father met her. They married, they had 5 kids, and they moved to this vast estate in the Hudson Valley just outside of New York City where I grew up. And so I was isolated not only physically because we were surrounded by legions of trees, but also because it was a long distance phone call to anywhere from my house. And as an orphan, my mother had no relatives. She had no idea how to make a family. She had no idea to be in a family. She had no idea how to create a loving family. So I have a brother who, at about age 19, joined a cult. He's still there, last I heard, and still chasing down get-rich-quick schemes. I have a sister who ran away from home when she was 19. She stuck out her thumb and hitchhiked across the United States. And she landed in the Aleutian Islands, on the last island in a long chain of Aleutian Islands, directing crates of king crab onto ships. And she stayed out west, and she married and had a family, but she doesn't want to talk to me, except very rarely and on her very guarded conditions. So my parents rather unwittingly raised their 5 kids, each to be orphans, just like mom, each with their own self-imposed isolation around them. So around this time that my sister ran away, my brother joined a cult, I was working in a pharmacy in a nearby town. I was 16, and the pharmacist there, the boss, took me into his confidence and complained to me about the one female pharmacist he'd hired. It was around 1976. It was kind of a novelty that there was a woman pharmacist. And he told me that she was careless, she was unreliable, maybe even stupid. And I thought, wow, I am finally in on something secret. Because this sounded like the kind of thing I figured my parents probably said about me late at night when they were alone in their bed and they were free of the shackles of daily propriety to say anything they wanted. And I was identifying with this incompetent pharmacist. And I thought, well, if she can be a pharmacist, I can too. And so the day my parents dropped me off at the Albany College of Pharmacy, I tried to get out of the car and start college. But I was paralyzed. And instead, I kissed the dog on the lips. And through my misty eyes, I gazed into her eyes. Because I was afraid to leave home. I mean, looking back on it, you might think I would have been thrilled. But at the time, I had no idea that my circumstances were unusual. I had no idea what the future held. But I did know with great certainty what to expect from the people around me. I knew not to trust anyone. I knew to take things seriously. I knew not to say out loud anything that mattered. I knew to keep busy. I knew not to expect anyone's help and to be leery of anyone who offered help. I knew to leave my body if I needed to. And I had a card in my wallet that I picked up at Planned Parenthood that told me step by step what to do in case I got raped. So there they were, my childhood lessons, packed, ready to go. Thank you.